Okay, so can we go through the checklist one more time?
Yeah. Okay, invitations?
Let me think.
I think everyone that I sent a Facebook message to responded, and I called Memo and Aunt Carla and told them what time to be here. And I think Daddy reminded Memo last night on the phone too. Check.
Okay, decorations, plates, and utensils?
Check. Everything's in a bag in the pantry.
Okay, drinks?
Yeah, I got cans of Sprite, Coke, Diet Coke, and Mountain Dew. I also got some bottles of water too. They're in the pantry next to the decorations.
Okay, what about ice?
I figured we could get a few bags from the store on the way back from picking up the pizzas. You think that'll work?
Yeah, that should be good. That way it won't melt too quickly. Tables and chairs?
Check. Daddy set them up this morning before he went to work. And he also went ahead and put out the little mosquito repelling tiki torches too.
Okay, so a check for tables and chairs, and a check for torches. Pizza's ordered?
Check. I ordered them last night. They're supposed to be ready by 5:30 so we can get them picked up and back here for the party to start at 6:30. Daddy still set to pick up Shell at her apartment at 6, right?
Yeah, she thinks that he's picking her up when he gets off work and then swinging by here to get us so that we can all ride to the restaurant together. Salads?
Check. I made the pasta salad and the potato salad yesterday afternoon, and they're sitting in the refrigerator. And the bags of tossed salad are in the crisper. And I figured I'd put this whole salad together with the toppings and everything just a few minutes before she gets here.
Great. Okay, so the last thing on the list is the cake. You're making the strawberry cake, right?
Yep, and I'm adding the pudding mix to the batter and cutting fresh strawberries to layer with the frosting in between the layers just like she likes it. And I'm making the vanilla buttercream too.
Have you ever wondered why we have birthday cakes in the first place?
Huh? What do you mean?
You know, I mean, I get that we eat sweets and celebrate events and things like that, but where did the whole blowing out the candles and making a wish thing come from?
Well, that's easy. Surely you've heard the legend of the birthday cake.
No? What are you talking about?
The legend of the birthday cake. I know you've heard the story.
I don't have a clue what you're talking about.
Well, guess I'll just have to tell it to you. Here goes.
Long ago, in a small village just outside of the newly settled town of Jamestown, a small collective of families lived together, farming the land and sharing in the wealth of the harvest and one another's friendship. Although apart from the convenience of the town, the villagers wanted for little and enjoyed their simple lives. If ever they found themselves in need or want for something that they could not produce themselves, they would venture into the town to trade and barter for what they needed, but they would always return home in time for a nice home-cooked family dinner. The people of the village were happy, and the children enjoyed spending their days working with their parents in the fields as well as in their homes, and playing together at any spare moment.
But wait, didn't the children go to school?
Yeah, of course they did. They went to school every morning.
Each year, the day of each villager's birthday was commemorated with a large party in which everyone would gather and celebrate the person and all of their accomplishments over the past year.
As each villager would have had such a day of birth, there were many of these celebrations held throughout the days of the year, to be repeated each and every year. At each of these celebrations, everyone would gather in the center of the village for a great feast, accompanied by the singing of happy songs, storytelling, and games for the children.
Did they all eat together, like at one long table?
Naturally. Who's telling the story here?
Sorry. Please continue.
As I was saying, at the feast, each villager would share a small story about the honored guest or describe why they are proud to call them a friend and neighbor. At the end of the feast, the most anticipated tradition of the day was performed. You see, it was customary for the village's best baker to make a delicious cake inspired by the person whose birthday they were celebrating. The baker would design a cake based upon the likes and favorite flavors of their friend. Much thought and consideration went into this design process, and the baker would always consult the person's closest friends and family to ensure that the cake would best embody and celebrate the person. During this process of gathering information, the baker would ask one person close to the celebrant to make a wish for their friend. Their wish could be for anything, as long as it was meant to benefit the celebrant. The baker would have them write down this wish on a special slip of paper using a special pen reserved just for this purpose. The baker even stored this pen and paper in a locked box kept beneath their bed. Once the cake was ready to be baked, the baker would fold up the piece of paper containing the wish and place it into the batter of the cake. They would then proceed to bake and decorate the cake with the wish nestled within the sweet dessert. At the appointed time at the end of the feast, the baker would retrieve the cake and set it before the celebrant. Small candles were then placed in the top of the cake and lit with fire. As the rest of the villagers admired the cake and sang happy songs of well wishes for the coming year, the celebrant would think of a wish for themselves. Once the candles began to melt, the celebrant only had a short time to silently utter their wish for God's ears alone to hear, and then blow out the fire to stop the candles from melting. If the wish was not made, and the fire not blown out before the candles melted completely into the cake, the wish was doomed to never reach God's ears. However, simply by reaching Him alone, the wish was not guaranteed to be granted. Upon lighting the candles, the wish baked within the cake would begin to dematerialize into a magic dust. As the candles were blown out, this magic dust would be blown up to God's ears as well, so that He would hear two wishes for the same person. However, God would only grant one wish, so as not to produce greed in His children's hearts. In order for this one wish to be granted, the two wishes had to be the same. The wishes having been sent up to God, the festivities would conclude with everyone enjoying the delicious cake and fun and games until time to return to their houses for bed. Throughout the next year, the wish, if held in common, would come to pass and would further bless the person. Regardless, they would still be richly blessed by God each day with a fruitful harvest, good health, and much laughter. On their appointed day of birth at the end of that year, they would awaken to reflect on whether or not their wish had come true, and how God had blessed them in the past year of their life. They would then repeat this annual tradition, making a new wish and celebrating their birthday with their closest friends and family. This was done for each and every member of the village for generations. Upon the death of the baker, their box that contained the special paper and pen would be passed down to their child, who would become the next baker, so that no birthday wish would ever go unmade or be forgotten. And so, the tradition of the birthday cake and making wishes to be granted upon the blowing out of candles has remained a part of the American culture ever since.
Oh, wow. That looks great. She's gonna love it. Man, who knew the story of the birthday cake was so legendary?
Hey, it could be true, you never know.
Oh yeah, I guess it could. We should tell that story at the party tonight.
You're right, we totally should. I'll tell it right before we sing happy birthday to her.
I like it. Well, I get, let's say the wish to ourselves at the same time.
Okay, but we gotta hold hands and close our eyes, and we'll say the wish at the same time, and so it goes into the cake just like in the legend.
Okay.
Make a wish!